Make no mistake, this conflict is not between Arabs and Jews. It's not even about land. It has everything to do with the obsessive genocidal supremacist ideology steeped in anti-Semitism that seeks to eliminate the state of Israel, the United States, and yes, Europe as well. So what is this ideology? What is Hamas really? Hamas is a terrorist organization ruling the Gaza Strip, funded by Iran and Qatar. They pride itself on armed resistance against Israel and reject our right to exist in any borders. Even prior to October 7th, Hamas fired tens of thousands of rockets at civilians in southern Israel, each and every one a war crime. 1,200 killed, over 200 kidnapped from their homes on a Jewish holiday, no less. A massacre carried out by Hamas commandos as well as Palestinian civilians, including journalists, teachers, and other UN employees. Hamas kidnapped and is holding European citizens in dungeon underground in an inhumane condition. And instead of a unified demand pressuring Hamas, we see many European voices criticize Israel instead of having our back, doing diplomatically what Israel can't do alone. Force Hamas to surrender the hostages immediately. Despite the reality on the ground in Gaza, the international media continues to echo Hamas statistics and Hamas narrative as it's factual, irresponsibly adding fuel to the fire of anti-Semitism that are raging across Europe. Instead of holding international bodies like UNRWA accountable for their complicity with Hamas, with multiple employees even taking part in October 7 attacks and numerous schools being used by Hamas for terror activities, many EU nations, which initially paused fundings to UNRWA over the scandal, have now restored fundings. You are funding Hamas when you are funding UNRWA. Do you understand this? It is deeply concerning that so many European nations will turn their backs on their own values in the halls of bodies like the UN and condemn Israel's self-defense while ignoring completely Hamas at a time when hostages need pressure on Hamas more than anything. Sadly, Europe is failing to focus on the humanity of the hostages, even some of your own citizens, and instead made this a political issue. As lawmakers, as leaders, as human beings, I urge you to take a firmer stand against the rise of terrorist organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, and other terror proxies of Iran. Now is the time to make a stand against the attacks on Israel, both on and off the battlefield, that empower our shared enemies. Toda, shukran, thank you.